find the shadow on this part of my body, the lighting in this little area that I'm using is really bad. Alright, hi everyone, welcome back to another Nintendo video, because I guess I can't make anything else. In my latest video, I talked about how we were most likely going to be getting a Nintendo Direct in September that was going to reveal a little bit of information on games, but probably nothing on hardware, and lo and behold, that is exactly what we got on Thursday. The Nintendo Direct that we saw was definitely a decisive one. A lot of people think that the Direct was really mid. This Direct was leagues better than the one that we got last September. If you guys don't remember, last September was the farming Direct, where we just got farming simulators for 30 minutes. But with this one, there was really something for everyone, like FZero 99 and the Tomb Raider remake. Okay, maybe this Direct was a little weird, but in all seriousness, we did get a really random Tomb Raider 1, 2, and 3 remaster, and the game actually looks like there was small tweaks and improvements to it, but it was definitely not something I was expecting to see there. My personal favorite part of the Direct was probably the Paper Mario announcement at the end, because I just really liked A Thousand Year Door, as well as the Prince of Persia gameplay that they showed for like the Metroid Dread style game. I think that game actually looks really fun. I feel really bad for FZero fans because you guys waited for so long to get a new game, and it's basically just a battle royale a game that's only available for Nintendo Switch Online holders. Hey, hopefully if that game does really well, there will actually be a new F-Zero game, but I would not get my hopes up for that one. We did get a release date and a name for the Princess Peach game. So Princess Peach Showtime releases in March of next year, which just kind of pads the early launching kind of cycle of next year with another big game. There's a lot of games coming out early 2024. We didn't really get anything new from Mario Wonder because they had a whole Mario Wonder showcase in itself, so that's a game I'm really excited for. But yeah, so Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door is getting a remake or remaster. I think it's a remake, but it almost looks one-to-one. I will say though, it looks really good, like gorgeous. The art style just looks really good on Switch. A lot of people are up in arms about this game. Specific Nintendo YouTubers are up in arms about it, when in reality, if you're trying to get an original copy of this game, you're gonna get scalped. I believe like GameCube version of the game, which is the original one, is upwards of like $200. So this is a good way for people who don't have access to that game to experience it for either the first time or to just have a physical copy of the game. Because yes, you could do the very oogie boogie emulation of the game, but that's illegal, so I would never do that. And then the Donkey Kong game that I was really excited for in my last video turns out to be Mario vs. Donkey Kong, which is genuinely one of my most hated franchises that Nintendo's ever made. I hate those games. So, but it's pretty much a remake of the Game Boy Advance game. So there's that if you want to play Mario vs. DK. I will say we got a pretty cool announcement of Another Code Recollection, which is basically the first two Another Code games. I know that we got the original one on the DS, but the sequel never came out in North America. So now we have that, and those games are actually pretty fun. They're a good kind of way to just kind of numb yourself and play a game. And if you want like a good story, those games tend to have them. Again, I never played the sequel, so I don't know, and I can barely remember the first one because it came out on the DS, so I was like 9. The show opened really weird too. We got the Splatoon 3 next DLC, which it almost just kind of looks like a Souls-like version of Splatoon. So it's something for somebody out there. We got Unicorn Overlord, which is from 13 Sentinels. Just a really random game. I don't know what that game is. League of Legends has another spin-off game, which is fun. We already knew about Songs of Nunu, but then there's like a Bandle Tale, which is like a town kind of game. A really surprising thing for me was an Eastward DLC. I love Chucklefish, and I love pretty much every game they make, and Eastward was definitely not an exception. I love that game, so I'm excited that it's getting a DLC. I don't really know how I feel about that being in a Nintendo Direct. And then we randomly got some Among Us DLC, and that's pretty much all the big things. I probably missed something here and there. I was just kind of going off of Eurogamer's website, but that was the Nintendo Direct, and to me, it was pretty good. I wasn't disappointed. I didn't get my hopes up for anything, so maybe that's why. I don't really think anyone was expecting them to drop new hardware at this event, because that's just not what they do in September. I'm really expecting them to kind of announce it in either October or November, and then we'll get it next year, but that's pretty much it. I think my two takeaways from this direct was A, there's a lot of remakes coming, which pretty much I think is a showing sign that all of the main kind of teams and main developers are starting to get their work done on games for the next console, because it just doesn't really feel like the Switch is having anything like thrown at it that it can't handle. Remakes are a really easy thing to do for developers, and same thing with remasters. So there's, you know, that's just kind of what they're doing at the end of the lifespan. I'm not against it. A lot of people seem to think that remakes and remasters of older games is a bad thing. The only time I personally think it's bad is when we get like a Last of Us situation where The Last of Us barely turned 10 years old, and it already had like a remastered version. It had two, actually. It had one for the PS4 and one for the PS5. So that to me is a money grab. That to me you don't really need to do. But with Paper Mario Thousand-Year Door, when the original copy is $200 or more to try to get a physical version of, this is a great alternative. And even though I don't like Mario vs. DK whatsoever, I can see that this is good for someone who has not played those games, or or if you have like younger kids who have a Switch, this is a perfect game for them to kind of get into Mario with. That was one of like my core memories as a kid, was I hated Mario vs. DK so much that I would purposely not play that game and play the original Mario games, and that's why I ended up being a Mario fan. That's it. Donkey Kong did not get a game this entire console span. It got a port from a Wii U game, and that's it. So, as a Donkey Kong fan, I'm gravely disappointed. Hey, maybe next year or the year after. Also, the Sora amiibo, so cool. Love that Sora is so welcomed into the Smash family. I'm so here for it. But yeah, they did talk about more amiibos, but I mean, I'm not an amiibo guy. I'm a pop figure guy, so maybe I should have been an amiibo guy. It would make more sense. Anyway, that's it. That's all I got for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching this one, as well as the Switch 2 kind of rumor video I did. Was not expecting to get like almost 200 views on the video. I thought it was just kind of a throwaway welcome to the channel, but back to the channel video, but I appreciate it. Thank you. I might do a video like this on the PlayStation Direct, but I kind of want to do a video like this about Spider-Man. So that takes precedent. Okay, I'm gonna go cringe at the new Pokemon DLC on my Switch because it's so bad.